Canada's most prestigious race, the Queen's Plate, will take place on June the 29th right here at Woodbine Racetrack. And we'll be there. Jeff Brad and Don Lupel here on DRF.com as we look forward to the gallop for the Guineas. And Don, it feels like spring right now, but it's going to heat up as we close towards the Queen's Plate. And this is a race that is steeped in tradition. 160
years. Do you think it'll be as hot as it was last year? Because last year the temperature was certainly a big story. This year it's the horses always taking center stage.
Ron Gierkink and Alex Campbell from the Racing Forum have been busy not only with the winter book, but updating their top 10 list. Let's catch up with Ron right now to find out who is on top of his leaderboard.
Yeah, number one, of course, is Avies Flatter, last year's champion 2-year-old in Canada. He's the Queen's Plate winter book favorite that Alex Campbell and I made over the winter. He ran 2 good races over the winter in graded turf stakes at Keeneland and Churchill, although he was a little flat last time in the Grade 2 American Turf. I think he's a very worthy number one. Down to Skywire at number 2, he won the Wando Stakes here a few weeks ago. Ran a little green, but he wasn't far off the track record, so he's a real up-and-comer in the division. At number 3, we have One Bad Boy, a California horse, recently supplemented on May 1st for $5,000. Looks like a promising type. Bold Script, number 4, the top filly in the race, the top filly amongst our top 10. She's, when you consider that Queen's Plate winner was a filly the last 2 years, I think you've got to give her a big shot.
Fillies, Don, have done very well in this race in previous years, especially in recent history. And we're going to keep an eye on Bold Script. She's going to try and stamp herself not only as a Woodbine Oaks contender, but a plate contender as well. Her next stepping stone coming up on Saturday in the Saline Stakes.
We'll see how she does there. And one of 3 fillies in Ron's and Alex's top 10 this season. She can be a little bit tough to handle, but most of the good fillies are that way.
There are not only fillies to keep an eye on when it comes to Queen's Plate eligible horses this weekend, but some colts and geldings as well, with more on that. Here's Ron.
Sunday we had the Queensland Stakes. It's only got a 5-horse field going 7/8 for Ontario breds, but we do have a couple from our top 10 in the race. Federal Law is going to be turning back off a couple of routes. He's been a little disappointing this year, but he was second in the Coronation last year to Avies Flatter, and a couple weeks ago in the Wando Stakes he was surprisingly on the lead and a little rank. And I think maybe turning back to a distance to a sprint maybe will help him out a bit. And Cassie's very good with turnbacks, so he's maybe going to be the favorite there over another Cassie horse, My Silencer, who's coming off a front-running 7 furlong Ontario sired allowance win. My Silencer, that was his first start for Cassie. He was with Bill Theranos in the past at Gulfstream over the winter. He looks like he's a little questionable going along, but I still think this would be a good spot for him to test the waters. And rounding out the field, we have 3 more Queen's Plate possibilities, but most notably Dundrum, who won the Kingarvey last year against Ontario Sired Company, and a couple of sprinters, Super Success and Corduroy Road.
So something tells me we might get some movement in the top 10 list next week, but Don, it's exciting to see the names that we're looking forward to seeing on June the 29th in action coming up this weekend.
Yes, it's a good time. I mean, it's getting right down to the nitty-gritty, so you need to pick your spots as trainers and owners. You have to find out, are these horses going to go the distance? To me, that's the big determining factor as to whether you proceed.
And make sure you follow us at Woodbine TV, and you can have a bit of a vote and a bit of a say as to who you like for Canada's big race taking place on the 29th of June, with a purse, by the way, of $1 million. Yes, get interactive with us. And be sure to tune in next week for another edition of the DRF Watch as we make our way close towards the Queen's Plate here at Woodbine.